welcome everybody to the January 22nd, 2019 meeting of the Shrewsbury Board of Library Trustees. First order of business is the minutes from the December 11th meeting. Anybody have any changes to make to that?
Looks good.
Is the motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is the monthly report of the library director covering December activities. Get away from the other file. Okay, so once again, it was a busy month for Elwood.
I thought it was interesting that you're looking into shade for the courtyard.
Yes,
I
think
good
we
news.
need to do that. It's that southern exposure makes it really hot out there in the summer. So with the work we'll be doing as part of the Mind in the Making grant program, developing a play space out there, we really need to provide some shade.
That's great.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fair-skinned patrons.
Is it going to be over the whole pergola?
That's what I'm trying to arrange, Dean, is to have it be part of the pergola structure.
So
Would be
it's
the
more
simplest.
or less permanent?
Yes.
And I've noticed in the morning the light coming into the building just is
beautiful.
terrible. Yeah, but it can be,
Yes, it's very
overwhelming.
bright. Right. We have
shades.
shades.
Do we sometimes lower those shades?
Yes, and any time if someone's in there and they feel
go
like
over to the
overwhelmed,
switch
just ask someone. No, it's in the staff area.
Oh, okay.
They'll put it down for you. But sometimes staff will do it too if they're seeing it's really bright. But
okay.
if
That's
you're
good.
in there
That's
and you
good to
feel
know.
it's too bright, they'll drop it down. It's nice because it doesn't block all the light.
Which room?
The play area in the children's room.
Yeah, the light just comes in like crazy down there. Yeah, it's very.
Yep.
It can be very hot. It can be
Yes.
very warm as a consequence. I suppose you don't want to leave.
Good
the switch
place
for
to be the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all right. So,
Motion to approve the.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carries unanimously. Next, we have our financial and legislative reports.
First, we have the year-to-date report for this current fiscal year 19, and as you can see, we're very much on target. One thing I will note to you is on a portion of the salary and wage account lines, some of the cost of living adjustments that were approved by personnel were transferred into the budget. So if you look under the column labeled transfers and adjustment, you'll see it's been added to the director's salary as well as the full-time employees. They have not added it into the part-time yet. I've asked our account clerk to check why. They didn't do it as one piece, but otherwise you can see all the other accounts are right on target.
Okay, it's always amazing to me how close we come to the budget.
Yes.
Well done. An update on the 2020 process. Where are we there?
Well, Claire and I met with the town manager, the assistant town manager, and the assistant to the town manager, and Priya Ratham joined us as well from our staff on December 19th and had a good opportunity to review the request with the town manager's staff. We have not yet heard back from the town manager. That won't occur for another week or two, another couple of weeks. We have been requested to, into the Munis system, add the full numbers that the trustees had requested. Originally, you might recall the town manager wanted only the items that were kind of level service costs moving forward. What were those that would keep the services the same as they are this year? Recently they asked us to add the other elements in, which were the increase to library materials, the increased paging hours, the part-time reference librarian, and the additional aid for the summer months, the 9 weeks of the summer months. So those were added in, but we have not had a response from the town manager about what his recommendation will be yet.
I just would tell the rest of you that we had a very positive response about Ellen's presentation from the town manager right after the meeting, and they were very impressed that it was built around strategic goals, which is something we do naturally for the state. But I felt it was a very positive meeting. Yeah. I don't know, do we have any idea when they're going to start the local budget hearings? Any word on that?
They will be in March, but I don't know. have the timeline yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have not even,
Yeah.
the governor's still getting his budget
Right.
together, so that
Right.
it's gonna be a while before
Right.
good numbers will really be available.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I have the dates, I can look them up for you, but.
I wrote something on my calendar that they were gonna start
Oh,
at
here,
a
actually, I did
certain.
print
Yeah,
it
and
up
it
here.
depends on which.
So March
they-
2nd, March 9th, and March 16th, they're showing 3 weeks of budget hearings. I don't know if they're intending to use all
Yeah,
those or just
yeah.
have reserved those for. The town manager's official date for releasing the budget is the 17th of February. Oh, no, excuse me. Let me step that back. That's to the Finance Committee, the 8th of February.
Okay,
So not far away.
yeah, soon,
Soon.
okay. But they'll be waiting on Boston for a while even after that. Okay, next we have facilities and,
Under this, if we might just
Yeah.
have Nancy update
Oh,
on
sorry.
materials that she
Yeah,
had acquired. Advocacy.
as you may recall, I have joined the Central Massachusetts Library Advocates group, which is it's been in existence about a year, and we now have our 501c. If you're interested in joining, basically, you would be kept in the loop with any legislative information. Of course, very often Ellen shares that with us, but you would get you'd get it from a bunch of different organizations. So I do have membership forms here. It's retirees, it's $10 to join. Individuals are $25. But it's a very important group, and it has the western part of the state has had an advocacy group for quite a number of years, and so it was modeled on that because it's like anything west of the river. So we have this vast area in central Massachusetts that we felt, we really could be a strong group for advocating for anything library related, especially legislatively. Having said that, the CMLA, as it's now known, is actually responsible for hosting the legislative breakfasts that in the past have been solely the responsibility of the Mass Board of Library Commissioners. So they have definitely taken charge in that area. So I just want to mention to you 3 dates that you might want to attend. These breakfasts are held in local libraries, and they start at 8 a.m. and they're over by 10 a.m. So the February 1st is a Friday, and that's in Millbury. I do know that Senator Michael Moore will be in attendance at that particular one, Millbury Public Library. On Friday, February 8th, it will be really close by in Northborough, and I will be attending that one for sure. And Senator Harriet Chandler and Senator James Eldridge will both be in attendance at that particular breakfast. And the last one that's truly local is Friday, February 22nd, and that is at the Boylston Public Library. And again, Harriet Chandler will be in attendance at that. So again, they start at 8 a.m. and you can register for any of those, or all, if you're so inclined, at masslib.org. That's the homepage for the Central Mass Library Advocates.
Is there an agenda, or is it just a
There's an
speaker
agenda on the website.
on the website?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, so you will see it there. And then just a reminder, March 5th, which I think is Tuesday, is Legislative Day at the State House. So I've already registered to attend that, so.
did everyone get an email on that? I did get one, but from them, but,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Nancy, people who are watching, they could join this group as well.
Absolutely, this
Yeah.
is not, although it's, the board is primarily library directors, and me as a trustee, but they're, it's for patrons, it's for friends of the library, anyone who wants to support the work and efforts of our public libraries is welcome with open arms to join.
For Library Legislative Day, our staff have submitted 2 proposals for the table programs.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
one on the Memory Cafe and one on our team gaming program.
Excellent.
So we'll see if we're actually accepted. But,
That's great.
yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So next is facilities and grounds, and anything happening with the plaques?
Well, I can tell you, I can tell you that I did have the opportunity to talk to John Campbell and explain the trustees' position regarding the desire to leave the plaques on the building as they are with the kind of the natural patina, and to have the work done on the Washington Marker Monument, similar to what was done at the Town Common. John recommended I speak to Bob Cox, who had been involved in that. When I spoke to Bob, he said actually Angela Snell, who's now head of that division, had done it. So I'm planning to speak to Angela to kind of get an understanding of what actually data listed on those monuments, because they did not do a complete cleaning and a complete restoration. The intent was to leave some sense of age on it. So I'll talk to Angela and get some better idea on that.
Good.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so by their appearance.
That's right. That's right. So
Almost looked like they were made 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
They certainly were legible.
Yes, right.
Yes. Okay, gifts and grants, anything there?
Nothing major under gifts and grants, just that we are working on the Mind and the Making play spaces. We're starting to order materials and equipment for that, so that's coming along, and starting to organize speakers and programs. So that's
Okay,
great.
that will be welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. You're beginning to organize now the fiscal year 2020 Sunday sponsorship program.
Yes, and I'd like to make a recommendation about next year's program. We have had the cost of $650 per Sunday for a number of years now, and we are actually exceeding that in costs each Sunday, just slightly exceeding it, maybe $20, $25 a week. We've had to add another page on to the Sundays, as well as an additional aid in the children's room, because the children's room has been extremely busy. It's a great popular day for
Sunday's
families.
just a great day to go to the library.
Yes, right. So I'm recommending that for next year that we charge $700 per Sunday, but if a sponsorship is received by October 1st, that we still keep the current price. I'm thinking that differential will be met by having a few who come in at the old rate. I'm assuming that those who have been sponsoring for a number of years might just continue with and get their sponsorship in early enough to get the same rate. So this is more of a vote by the trustees would be required because of the policy on them.
We had a good response this past year.
We had a tremendous response. This has been just a super year. It was funded earlier than ever, and people have been very
surplus, I
enthusiastic.
mean, as far as sponsors go?
There was not a surplus. We used those for starting to book next year. People have already started to book next year.
You know, we didn't open this past Sunday, so what
That's
happens
right.
with that funding?
So that was the person who funded 3 Sundays. I'm
Okay.
going to speak to that person about whether we want to just push one of those into the next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
A motion to increase our Sunday sponsorships to $700.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes.
Thank you.
Righty. Now, next we have more revisions to the
Meeting
meeting
room,
room
yeah.
use policy.
Oh,
Certainly,
dear.
That's
Already.
a policy
This is a
that
group
continues
study
to
room.
grow.
So a number of these changes come about at request from the Public Facilities Division. We had one program not long ago that created some real challenges in the room for us, despite what we thought were pretty clear policies regarding cleanup and that kind of thing. We had use of materials that created some challenges, use of sand and flour that got into the floor outlets and things like that. And
Doing crafts and that kind of
yeah,
thing.
and so you'll note on the policy in the highlighted sections are the areas where we are asking for additional consideration about use of the room. And the major recommendation that comes out of public facilities. I had a meeting with 3 of the public facility managers to discuss this issue, is a room use cleaning fee if the room is not left in the right condition. And so that would be $160, which is basically the minimum hours for a custodian to come in after hours to clean up if it hasn't been done correctly. We're also asking that people, if they're using food in the facility, to take the bags out to the trash. And especially the challenges on the weekends and evenings, if food, especially on a Saturday night where the food would sit till Monday.
Right.
You know, we had milk spilling out of packages and things like that. So, you know, we really need to think about that to avoid any problems. And then while we were at it, we took care of a couple of things that we thought were understood, but just to put them in, things like no open flames, and the, you know, no use of sand, glitter, rice, confetti, and so forth. I would actually like to put one item in here that I realized I forgot to do, if I could ask for someone to amend for me. In the prohibitions of different things, I would also like to add balloons. We do tell people that because of the type of fire alarm system we have, which is a sensor out in that community commons. If a balloon goes up there, it would set off the alarm system.
Oh.
So we don't allow balloons in the building, so I'd like to ask if someone could add that before they make a
We have a
motion.
move to amend first, to add
So
balloons.
moved. Second.
Can I just ask,
No, we're still discussing. Yeah.
well, you have a motion on the floor
Just
to
to
amend.
amend
So
for the
that's
balloons.
fine.
Okay, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so balloons are included now, and then we'll continue to discuss.
So just my question about the $160 cleaning fee, how are we going to collect that?
That, so what I talked about is we would collect that to the library and the public facilities would back charge us, as they have done for some other things. So they'll, just like for instance, when we've had a police detail,
Yeah,
they send an invoice over to the library. So we would put that into our donation account, and then we would pay the invoice from the public facilities department from that
I
account.
see. I'm just wondering how easy it's gonna be to collect something like that from the patrons who
Well,
owe it.
I think part of it might be that the policy will encourage people to think about
Sure.
that,
Okay, so I
this
mean,
in a
that's the
different
real
way.
purpose.
Right, and if it does happen and a fee was placed and was not paid, that would
Would
bar
we
them
reserve
from
the
use
room?
in the future.
I
So
guess that
think,
was
yeah,
kind of what I was thinking.
yeah,
Okay.
I think it would
Yeah.
take care of itself.
Is there any signage in those rooms asking people to clean up?
When they want to, it's not, these are the rooms, so when they use these rooms, this isn't the group study,
not
this
a-
is meeting
the
room
group
use.
study, they're smaller rooms,
Yeah,
right?
the group study rooms are controlled under a separate policy. This is for the meeting room use,
Oh, okay.
the large meeting room, whether it's divided or not. And what happens is when a person books a room, they actually fill out the form saying they have read the policy, they understand the policy, so.
Okay.
Ellen, one question. Are the dumpsters are behind the fence?
Mhm.
Is that locked?
We can take care of that with staff.
Okay.
Okay.
I just don't want people leaving their bags.
Right, sitting out.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so do I have a motion to approve the amendments to the meeting room use policy?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're all set. Next, we have Friends of the Library, and they're having a foreign film festival starting soon.
Yes, this has become such a popular, well, Deb knows, this has become such a popular event, so we have 4 movies planned for every Sunday in February at 2 p.m. Anyone who would like to see these movies is welcome to come. You can bring your own beverage. Popcorn will be provided by the Friends, and the movies are as follows. February 3rd, Everybody Loves Somebody from Mexico. February 10th, Mountain Patrol, a movie from China. February 17th, The Way Home, a Korean film. And then the final film is on February 24th, The Golden Door, an Italian film. And
I was just curious, and Debbie may, and Jeff may know, and Dean too, how do the Friends make the decisions on the films? Do you have a committee that
can
does
A
it?
lot of, a lot of it is due to licensing, but.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we, the Friends actually pay for the library to have 2 licensing contracts that allow us to play movies, provide public performance rights, thank you, for a range of titles. We actually have these 2 subscriptions to these licensing companies because they carry different titles. So we look at that. We then also look at availability of the film. Can we get the film in some kind of format that we can show here?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Don't Melissa and Ann do the choosing?
Yes, they work with Melissa Melissa Wentworth, excuse me. Yep.
And ratings.
Been very
And ratings,
successful.
yes.
Ratings, yeah.
Audience ratings. How many stars
Because
are next to
independent
that?
films are not rated. They don't have Hollywood ratings, so you have to preview them.
You haven't always done a good
Yeah,
job.
visitors.
Been some surprises over the years.
We thank Melissa Meisowitz and Ann for doing a tremendous job on organizing. You know, last year I think we were running 60, 70 people a film.
Wow.
Showing, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, standing
Yeah.
alone.
That's why
Yeah.
our popcorn budget is so
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Personnel,
Yep.
update on the reference librarian position.
Yes, our new reference librarian started today. Her name is
Oh,
Suzanne
good.
Gorham. I didn't make her come tonight. She is coming from having lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, so this is her first winter experience. I mean, she arrived
A week or
weeks
so.
before, so she was really,
snow frost.
yeah, she was really got into it right away. But so I didn't feel like it was necessary to bring her out tonight after her first day here at work. But probably next meeting I'll try to ask her to stop in and see you. She comes from an experience working as a reference librarian, but also has a lot of experience working with children as a volunteer with children, literacy for children.
Oh,
so there's a real interest in that, as just as a kind of a sidelight. So that's a nice kind of feature of her background. So.
Will we be able to make use of that talent here? Do we?
You
think?
never know. She also had experience working with the community on vintage fashion, so she did a lot of programs on vintage fashions, worked with stylists, with collectors in the area, and did some great programs. Had really excellent references
Yeah,
about her
that's
great.
programming. So
Good.
There'd be a
And
lot
that'll
of
be-
interest in those.
Yes,
I
That
think.
would be,
Yeah,
yeah, that would be.
Okay, great, good news.
yes, yes, our adult services team is very happy.
And we hope she likes Massachusetts.
Yes, yeah.
Are you still going to employ that strategy that somebody relieves the reference
Yes, that's
librarian
one of the
for
things
a
we
while?
want to do
Okay.
is we're looking at
Yeah.
that. We're thinking of giving her a lot of the promotional responsibilities, and then looking at that schedule.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's good news.
Yes.
The next thing is it's the yearly conflict of interest law notice. I didn't know if, how you all are doing on your training. I took one in 2018, so I didn't have to do the training again. But we do have to do the forms every year, so.
Yeah.
Some
You've
people have
got
already
mine,
handed in. Yeah.
right.
If anyone has his, you
Where
can.
do you get the form?
It was online.
I
Oh,
can.
was it? Okay.
I think
I
Sandy
might-
Wright sent something around to
She
everybody.
did send it,
so
yeah.
You know what,
Got
Deb?
a letter in the mail.
I'll forward you the
Oh, you
email.
you actually got a
Oh, I
real
didn't get a letter.
Could you forward
Well,
it to me
yeah,
too?
a letter from Sandy with the,
Oh, I didn't. I just
The
got an
slip.
email.
no, I got.
And can we just turn that into you?
Yes,
Or do we go to the
you can
town
turn it to
hall?
me and I'll take care of it.
Okay.
If it's easier
Alright.
for you to bring it to town hall, just
Okay.
let me know so I
Alright.
can hold these up.
Alright.
Thank you very much, Deb.
Okay.
Okay, and it's riveting training.
Is it
You're
the
being
same
kind.
as you've taken in the past? Is it just a repeat?
I've taken it every other year. I think they're fairly similar, but there's always some new scenarios
Right.
that they put in very tricky scenarios, actually.
It is a nice
You know,
way to learn it, or
It
at
is.
least to get some awareness
Yeah,
of
Right.
the
And
issues
we
you
all
might
kind of
encounter.
learn when we make mistakes, and
Mhm.
so you get
Yeah.
the second chance to correct your
Mhm.
mistake.
Right, right.
So that's good. Our next meeting is February 26th. And I wanted, at this point, I don't know if everybody realizes this, I'd like to propose that we go into executive session to talk about some security strategies at the
Okay.
library. And I would suggest that we don't reconvene, that we close our regular meeting. To do this, each of us has to say you want to go into executive session. So I'll start by saying I move yes to going into executive
Okay.
session. Just yes or no is all I need.
Yes.
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 Okay, so we'll go into executive session. So, thank you, and good night, everybody out there.